Can big things come in small packages? Best friends, let's see how the Pixel 9a here holds up to everyday condition from day to night, and most importantly, answer the burning question: is this camera for you? I'm Captain Awesome, this is Geekception. I will appreciate your support, and let's get right into it. And this is the front camera video test at night of the Google Pixel 9a, and I am at my roof here, and what I immediately noticed is that while the quality is not great, it looks very blotchy and very like noisy here on the display, but I can see myself, which I cannot say as much for some other phones if you've watched some of the other comparisons I've done with the Pixel 9a on the channel here. But yeah, I'm kind of impressed. Like what? Because most phones in this condition, they're completely dark, especially when I take it to a high dynamic range situation like this with the bright KL Kuala Lumpur skyline behind me. You can see the Petronas Twin Tower there and the KL Tower here, and yeah, most of them just fall apart, and I'm quite impressed here that the Pixel 9a for this price point, absolutely, I think is not going to look great, but at least you're going to be able to sort of see in the dark, which is fantastic. Taking a look at the camera specifications here on the Pixel 9a, and it has a main 48 megapixel sensor with f1.7 aperture and optical image stabilization. Moving to the ultra wide camera, and it's a 13 megapixel sensor with f2.2 aperture. Moving to the selfie camera, and it has a 13 megapixel sensor and f2.2 aperture, and I cannot wait to show you some of the selfies from the Pixel 9a. Okay, let's talk about some of the daylight photos taken with the Pixel 9a here, and I loved the HDR photos that naturally come out of this. And if you share your photos to places that you can actually view HDR photos such as Instagram or Threads, you're going to love the Pixel 9a here. The highlights just roll off beautifully, and the processing is not too much. And while I will have to admit I found some of the photos that are not HDR a bit too flat, I must be a softie because some of the photos here are growing on me, and I've actually come to enjoy that neutral photos I'm getting with the Pixel 9a. And this is especially important because I think this camera managed to punch way above its weight here, especially in the price category that you're going to be getting this phone for. This is the front camera video test of the Pixel 9a here. I'm just walking beside a very busy road, and there's supposed to be speech enhancement for the Pixel 9a turn on. So I think I will try to turn it off. I don't think I can turn it off, but yeah, this is how it sounds with speech enhancement turned on. Now let me record another video. Okay, looking at lens zoom consistency, and there are just two lenses here on the back camera, which is the 0.5x and the 1x cameras, and I found it on average to be pretty consistent between both cameras, which meant that if you took an ultra wide and then you took a wide, you will not notice that much difference between the two. And of course there's a 2x crop here, which is just a crop on the main wide camera there, so it's pretty consistent on the 2x end as well. I would say though, there were some times I did notice a slight warm shift in the 0.5 to the 1x mode, and this is especially evident in the day photos compared to the night photos, and I just felt I should mention that. But on general, I would say the lenses here are pretty consistent. And this is how the video of the Pixel 9a sounds without speech enhancement on. I'm still by the same side of the road here, so let me know if you can tell if there's a difference here. But yes, this is the kind of quality you're going to be getting. I have 4K. I'm not sure if it's 30 or 60 frames per second here, but I'm just walking, trying not to get hit by a car. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are about the front camera video test in the day on the Pixel 9a. I'm going to software, and the Pixel 9a here of course has that minimalistic software that Google has been using in all of their devices. And when you take a photo, what even is a photo? Because Google processes the heck out of most of the photos you're going to be taking on this phone. For dedicated AI features here in the camera app, you have the Add Me features, which I will test, but sadly, you know, who else am I going to add? Now moving to portraits, and Pixels are not known for their great portrait mode, but I did notice that the portrait mode here performed slightly better on the Pixel 9a with good to great subject cutouts of both humans and non-human subjects when I took some photos you can see on screen right now. And sure, of course, if you pixel peep, you can see that, you know, the edge detection is still not great all through and through, like some of the times that it cut off my ear, for example. But you know, if we close one of our eyes, as we like to say in Nigeria, to it, it's still pretty okay. And I would say it's still a much better improvement than when I initially got the Pixel 9 Pro XL. I remember that. I was pretty disappointed back then. And this is the back video day test of the Pixel 9a camera here. And I'm in a market here in Chowkit, Malaysia. Just walking, as you can see, there are wares on the left and on the right as well. And here with the 4K mode, I can go into 2x zoom there, as you can see, and I can come back here and yeah, let me know what you think of the audio quality as well as the stabilization here on the Pixel 9a as well. If you want to know that I'm in Kuala Lumpur, that's the KL Twin Towers there, the Petronas Twin Towers. I'm more of like on the back side here, just walking. And yeah, again, let me know what you think of the video and the audio quality test here of the Pixel 9a back camera in the day. I would love to hear all of your thoughts. Now, I don't usually do this, but I'm including this selfie camera section because I just felt I had to mention it, because the selfie camera is really wide. And this meant I was able to capture much more in the scene. And this came in handy, especially for group shots where I did not need to step forward to be able to get everybody. I could just open up the camera, take photos of everybody, and everybody fit nicely. In fact, if anything, I think sometimes it's a bit too wide. So I really like the selfie camera here. Not only is it pretty wide, but it's also high quality as well. So it did not feel like I was losing anything here with the selfie camera on the Pixel 9a. Moving to night photo samples, and I would have to say I was pretty impressed with the Pixel 9a here, because even without using the dedicated night sight feature, which is a mode where you can take night shots dedicated, I was still able to pull off pretty nice photos that did not blow out highlights, that did not lose details. And of course, I still have a bit of complaint here. Sometimes if there's too much noise, it becomes a bit soft, which is evident in selfie photos that I took at night. But in general, it was pretty nice. I had no complaint. And yeah, night mode here is fantastic, really. For video mode, it shoots up to 4K 60 FPS with an asterisk. And the asterisk is that if you are shooting in that 4K 60 FPS, you don't have access to the 0.5x ultra wide camera. You have to step down to 4K 30 to be able to get, access to your ultra wide camera, which is a bummer, especially if you're someone who likes to shoot in a higher frame rate there. But I think that's the only quirk I noticed. And also when you're recording, you cannot auto switch between those cameras if you're not locked into those modes. So yeah, you've been watching all the videos. Let me know what you think of the video camera quality here on the Pixel 9a. And this is the night video test of the Google Pixel 9a, and the first thing I definitely notice is just how clear it is, and also the stabilization is holding quite well. You can see the Petronas towers there. If I go into the 2x mode, you can see the towers there. They look very nice. And just going back into this KL skyline, I guess the negative I can say here is that there is no ability to go to the 0.6, which is the ultra wide camera, when you're recording in 4K 60. If you're recording in 4K 30, you have that option, but not in 4K 60 that I'm recording right now. I'm just panning across the skyline here. That is the Merdeka 118, the second tallest building in the world, just peeking out behind on the right there. But yes, let me know what you think of the quality. Let me go to the other side of the skyline here, and on my roof it's pretty dark, so just gonna go there, and you can see it get very, very noisy very fast. And if I go from here, that is kind of clean. If I go here, of course it gets like quite noisy, as you can see there. But yes, let me know what you think of the back camera video test of the Pixel 9a in the comments down there below. And wrapping up here with the ultra wide angle camera on the Pixel 9a, and I ended up falling in love. And I think maybe it's due to that ultra wide 120-degree field of view that it has, but I really enjoyed using the ultra wide camera here to capture so much of the world with expansive scenes and not that much degradation from the main camera, which I did not notice. So I would say the ultra wide camera here is not just a slap on that they just put to be able to, put a checklist on their phones like some manufacturers do with, say, the macro camera, for example, which serves no purpose than just to say they have an extra camera there. So yeah, I really love that the camera here is really nice, the ultra wide camera. And if you're comparing this against something like, say, the iPhone 16e that only has one camera, of course, obviously the ultra wide here is a big sell of the Pixel 9a, and I was thoroughly impressed. Now, wrapping up this video, and I would say that my expectations for the Pixel 9a were not very high. I have to admit that, because I've used the Pixel 9 Pro XL, and I remember when I got that phone, I was pretty disappointed, not because it's not a great phone, not because it doesn't take great photos, but because from all the hype I've heard from the Pixel 9, you know, from the Pixel camp about how great their photos are and all of that, I really thought it was going to be much more than it was eventually. And because I have access to so many more phones here in Asia, it was just did not live up to the hype, especially at that price. But in this price range on the Pixel 9a, with what you're going to be paying here, yeah, it definitely fits much better here on the Pixel 9a. And you know, if you can live with the design, I think the design is not one I'm very, you know, happy with. I have to admit, maybe this is the first time I'm admitting it on camera, but if you can live with all of that, it has no camera bump, which means it is just right flat there. The photos taken here, yes, some of them might be a bit flat, but you know, the HDR is really good. And overall, I would say, you know, you do get some compromises in the video recording options, so you don't get all the video recording options there. But hey, you know, that's the price here. I think it's pretty great. I really loved it. Now it's your turn. Tell me, what do you think about the photos and videos taken from the Pixel 9a here? Is this something that you like? Is this something you don't like? Do you have any questions? All of those things. And if you subscribe here on YouTube, and if you become a member, or you subscribe to me on Patreon, you get access to all of the files from the Pixel 9a here. So that's one way to support me. That's one way to get access to all of the files. But yes, I've been a Captain of Awesome. I really enjoy making these videos. Please make sure you take care of yourself. Text me when you get home so I know you got home safe. And until the next time, I shall catch you next time. Don't forget to stay awesome. Bye. And thank you for making it all the way to the end of the video. And I've really enjoyed making this Pixel 9a video. And since you're here, I also recorded like a comparison with the Galaxy S24 FE as well. That video will be coming up perhaps sometime next week, I think. But yeah, the Pixel 9a has been quite surprising because, yeah, like I said in the video, I did not have high hopes for the phone because I've used the Pixel 9 Pro XL, and yeah, that phone was, yeah, I had to adjust my expectations for that phone, I'll tell you that for sure. But the Pixel 9a, on the other hand, okay, I see what you're doing there. Anyway, thank you so much again for making it all the way to the end. What are you obsessed with? What are you doing right now? What part of the world are you watching from? What do you think I should check out that is most important that I should check out right now? All of those things and more, please leave them in the comments down there below, and I'll make sure to check it out. I really do enjoy, making these, and especially these end credits as well. And yeah, so just leave hashtag. I'm going to watch Thunderbolt right after this. In fact, I'm in such a massive rush, so just leave like hashtag like Thunderbolt, so I know you made it all the way to the end of this video. But yes, I shall catch you in the next one. All right, bye.